Welcome back to our channel. We are your Colorado real estate family. And typically when we are covering weather in Colorado, everybody wants to know about our snow and our winters. However, we've been helping a lot of clients move here during the summer, sometimes from very warm states, and they want to know what our summers are like. So we're going to cover that today.
All right, let's go.
All right, if you're new to our channel, Chelsea and Pete here, and if you're interested in moving to Colorado, Denver, or any of the surrounding cities, do yourself a favor, hit that subscribe button down below and the notification bell because we put out 2 videos a week on Wednesdays and Saturdays. We do all these videos for you guys.
Yeah, guys. Also, licensed real estate agent here, helping you out with all your real estate needs. We love giving you all the information that you need to know to get to where you want to be. All right, cool. So this is going to be kind of a free flow, just like we're going to kind of roll with it, mainly because we recorded inside because it's so freaking hot outside right now. And it's crazy because typically when we talk to people, they're like, oh, tell me about the snow. Tell me about the winters in Colorado, when we really don't ever talk about the summer. And the summers can get kind of extreme here in Colorado. Give you a good example is I was looking at what the weather in Florida was today. Guess what? It's 90 degrees in Florida, where Colorado we're all about to reach 100. So that's something that we really want to hit on because people don't expect that. They think Colorado is just like this super mild, you know, it doesn't get crazy hot. And so we really want to hit on kind of the few obstacles I guess you might encounter when experiencing the summers in Colorado.
Yeah, so the first thing we want to cover is a little bit about our temperature, like kind of how it flows. And it's actually pretty consistent for the most part. We've had a little bit of a weird summer we'll tell you about. But so typically when you hit end of May, we're still like dicey on whether or not it's going to snow, okay?
You get this huge snowstorm.
Yes.
Like we usually say, like, you know, do not plant flowers until after Mother's Day because you don't know, you might get a huge, actually we got a snowstorm after Mother's Day this year.
This year. We did.
Yeah.
But so let's not even count May. So June starts to warm up and we start to really have those really nice,
June
like,
is nice. It's like nice
70s, like high 70s, like, you know, up to mid 80s, just, and then still kind of cooler nights, you know, and then we didn't have, it's really weird. We're actually in a rainy month. We don't have a lot of rain. Okay. Yeah. We are a little bit in a rainy month this year, but not usual. That's not typical. So we don't want you to get excited.
Yeah, we've been getting like a lot of these like night rains, you know, just like these late night rains and stuff, and it's just this little drizzle and stuff. And we had like a crazy rainstorm last week.
We had a downpour for like 30 minutes. It was incredible. But we don't typically get that, so don't get excited. We do get a little rainstorms here and there, and they're beautiful. We have lightning, the thunder, the whole thing. Like I love them, and it's because we don't get them enough. But then you get into July, and then what?
Then it gets crazy hot, and it fluctuates. We always talk about if you don't like Colorado's weather, what is it that you always say? Then just stick around
for a couple days. It'll change. Yes.
Yesterday it was in the 80s, like low 80s. Today, seriously, it's high 90s, and so it does that all the time to us. Where, all right, cool, we got a breather. It's a little bit cooler now. Oh, here we go. There's another span of 90, 99, you know. And so it's just crazy because people always think, oh, you know what, Colorado doesn't get that hot. It's gonna be so mild there. You know, you're looking at like Texas and Florida, the hot spots. The thing about our heat though is it's a dry heat, so it's so much different because like when we went down in Florida in July a couple years ago, it was it was like high 80s. It felt like it was 150 degrees out because of the humidity, you know. You walk out and it's like a blow dryer in your face. Colorado, not so much. Since it is a dry heat, it's a little bit more bearable than as opposed to those states with a lot of humidity in them.
Yeah, so another thing about this dry heat. Now, I say this because I just am not very good with plants in general. But my sister just recently moved to Florida, and she all of a sudden, like, we just thought it was like a thing. Like, we were like, well, we're just not really great at plants. But she just recently went to Florida, and she said, like, the humidity, she's like, Chelsea, you literally cannot kill anything here. Like, her plants are absolutely beautiful. She's showing me pictures all the time. They're like climbing up her like house. Like, they're so beautiful. And even our house in Florida, like, very minimal maintenance for these.
Well, we don't.
Humidity.
We don't have like a drip watering system or anything going to them, and they look beautiful.
Like, thrive. They're so happy.
It's like the humidity, man. You could just grow anything there.
Like random things grow. Like, I don't know where that came from. It's really pretty.
Yep.
Here, like, you're gonna have to work at it. Like we've had for the last. So yesterday was a little bit of a nicer day, but before that we had 3 days that were 99 degrees outside. Dry 99 degrees. And so like your flowers will die in a day or two. Like they will be gone.
You have to water them multiple times.
You have to water them like twice a day on those days, like in the morning and in the afternoon, because they're just sucked dry. And like you will work, like someone like me will work so hard at making a flower stay alive, and you do so good in June. You're like, yes, I'm so good. And then July comes and you're like, oh my gosh, they're gone. I'm over it. I'm never doing flowers again. And then you start over next year. But like it is a very different thing. Let's talk about the grass too.
Well, I was going to say the same thing with my lawn. Like my lawn, like late spring, early summer, it looks beautiful. It's all green and luscious and stuff like that, you know? And then come like July and just like goes to crap. And I'm like, we got like an HOA complaint about our lawn, and I'm like, I am watering like as much as I possibly can based on the water. We'll go into the water restrictions thing too, but and it's like no matter what you do, it's just like unless you're breaking those water restrictions, your lawn might not be as green as you want it to be in the summertime. So.
Yeah, people in Colorado will ask you like if you have a good lawn, they'll be like, what do you do for your lawn? Like, so don't be surprised if like people come up like, hey, what do you do about your lawn? There's all the different things.
One guy's like, oh, you know, I spray beer on it, and the other guy's like, oh, you got to use fabric softener, but the unscented. They have all these like crazy little tricks.
He tried them all.
I did.
He knows this because
I asked him. I was like, man, look how green that grass is. It's in July. It's how do you keep your lawn so green? Like, oh, don't worry, I tried this and I tried them all, and I can't just seem to. I don't know.
The other thing too is like secretly, I don't know about it. There are some females that are kind of outdoing you guys a little bit this year, but our guys in our neighborhood, like they like compete on their lawn because they're like, we'll see how good your lawn looks in July, you know? So anyways,
of course.
This is the plant thing, okay? It's real because we have dry heat. They don't have all that awesome humidity. We don't have all that humidity. You're going to have to bring sunscreen, chapstick. I'm like licking my lips as we're talking in this video. Proven fact that you're going to need all of those things.
Oh, of course. All right, so we kind of touched on it a little bit, but I mean, you got your water restrictions in summertime too. Everyone's trying to keep those lawns green, as we mentioned.
Yeah.
And so you do have water restrictions. It all depends on the local municipality. So like we live in Thornton, they have different, I think you can only water like 3 times a day, and they have a certain duration, all this stuff. And they track this shit too. Like all these, like the city of Westminster just got done throwing them in a couple years ago. I think Thornton's getting ready to do it here soon. But they have these smart meters that are telling them, they're like, uh-oh, it looks like this guy's watering more than he's supposed to. So that's something. If you've got a super hot summer, guess what? Your lawn might not be as green as you want to because we do have those water restrictions.
I just heard from the HOA gal since we got a citation on our lawn, you know. It's like really green. I'm going to post a picture up here of how good Peter's lawn looks. But she's like, yeah, sometimes you have to get out there and you just have to water it by hand. I'm like, this is crazy. So anyways.
Okay. It's just one of those, I mean, still, apparently there's some special little tricks out there that helps your lawn retain the water even better. I haven't found it yet. I've tried multiple times, but just something to kind of look forward to with our summers here, since it is so dry and it gets a little bit warmer. You're going to have a little bit of
I just remembered one thing we didn't tell them about. The other thing to consider during our summers is family fun. So we love to be outside.
Well, I just think just outdoor recreation in general. Like even if we're not even talking to families, just in general. Yeah.
Well, one I'm going to talk on is kind of specific to the kiddos because it has to do with the playgrounds.
Yep.
Colorado's getting a little bit smarter about this, but because we've had such hot summers, you know, not long, it doesn't last very long, but it's long enough that you like don't want to be stuck inside during July.
Yep.
If we're talking about playgrounds, and playgrounds, like they have the sales now, they're getting a little bit smarter about this, but sometimes this playground equipment, whether it's plastic, there's no way you're going to go on a metal, like an older playground set. But if you don't go to a park that has those sales, it's really miserable for the kids to be able to go out in the sun.
Well, it gets to a point where you literally, if you're going to take your kids to the park, or if you want to get out and do anything whatsoever, if you don't do it first thing in the morning, or you're going to have to wait until later on in the evening, it becomes miserable. And just because of that dry heat, you really don't have anything, you know, cooling you down or anything. And so us personally, we like to run, you know, evening, late afternoon time. Now we have to wait until like late evening for it to cool down and get, you know, into the 80s just to be able to run.
Like 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
Like late evening, like bedtime. We are running with the kids at bedtime because, and actually beyond bedtime. And so it becomes kind of weird because we want them to exercise with us at the end of the night. It helps them wind down. We like to run, and we've had to go separately now because we have to wait so late in the evening to go that we're like, okay, we can't put our kids to bed at 10, you know?
And you'll notice this is the thing, like I said, I mean, that's also why a lot of people do get in the mountains, because of course it's shaded, it's a lot cooler up there. So the mountains are flooded right now with people who want to do outdoor activities because they want to get out of the heat more in the Denver metro area. Yeah,
and so the other things to do in this really hot summery month is going to be anything around water. Lakes, pools,
splash pads, Water World.
Yes.
So here's
we need to go to Water World.
Yeah, I have a thing right here, right? So Waterworld like claims to be the world's largest water park or whatever it might be. And if you compare it to like acres, it's up there. It's 75 acres, and like the largest water park whenever you Google it, it's like 75 acres. But Waterworld's not up there. So I don't know if it's like some political thing where you have to pay into it to get known as like one of the top water parks, but we do have.
How do you know all this? This is so funny.
Because I look at stuff, I nerd out on stuff like that where I'm like, okay, America's largest water park. I'm going to prove that either right or wrong or what. And so, but we do have an amazing water park here. Like I said, it's 75 acres of pure joy in the water.
Yeah.
I used to work there when I was a kid. It's like typically the first job that most kids get in the Denver metro area, cleaning up trash and working concessions.
Dippin' Dots. Oh my gosh, yum. Yeah. Anyways, and even like our Elitches, which we're not going to have Elitches longer, right?
Nope, they're getting ready to tear that down and put a whole brand new development.
But that used to be kind of a thing that we, they have a water park at Elitches as well. So like if you wanted to, if it was too hot, you can go to the water park. If not, you can go over to the other rides. But anything around water, again, we have good lakes here. If you're like moving to Fort Collins, you are set because you've got multiple lakes to choose between.
Yeah, you got Carter, you got Horse too.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Like here, like by us, we don't really have that many. So a lot of our like adventures out are going to be pools and splash pads, and then we are recently seeing with our friends and some of our clients them putting in the what are the misters?
Misters, yeah.
So looking into misters for those hot summer days that you still want to maybe go have lunch outside, or covered patios or things like that. A lot of our new builds will have covered patios for a reason. Not only just the weather, but also the heat, getting in the shade. So
yeah, the sun, and that sun is intense. It's just like it gets crazy when it's going down. Oh yeah, you could be out there for maybe an hour and it just burns you super quick.
Yeah, the kiddos, myself included. Well, I've got 2 tan boys, and then I've got Addie and I, who are not so tan. So
Mediterranean skin.
Yeah, they like so beautifully tan, and Addie and I look like lobsters. But yes, you get burnt. Like you won't notice you're getting burnt. Like we can go to Florida and we will, like, all of us will be like awesomely, well, they'll be beautifully tan and we'll be like not burnt. So, but you're here and you'll be burnt like that, and you're like, what in the world? And it's just that dry, intense heat.
Yep.
So.
All right, cool guys. Well, we want to kind of bring you a little bit of a fun video. We always do a lot of informational videos, so just kind of give you some personal experience in regards to the summers in Denver and Colorado, because we always talk about the winters, but no one really talks about the summers here.
Yeah, and if you're interested in what our other seasons look like, go check out that video because we cover them all. And also, if there's anything else that you want us to cover in either Denver, the surrounding cities, Colorado as a whole, we do these videos for you. So comment down below, let us know, reach out. We love hearing from you.
All right, guys, I'm going to throw that phone number in below one more time right there. So give us a ring if you're planning on moving into Colorado. And until next time, we love you.
Bye. And so a lot of the newer playgrounds will have shaded, they're like sails.
They're sails. They got the sails, the canopies over it.
Definitely. What was that?
Real estate engineer, helping you out with all your real estate. I always talk so fast. I'm like, who's this real estate engineer? To get you to where you need to be. Man, I am talking all over myself right now. All right, cool. So we wanted to make this.
Interested in moving to Denver, Colorado, or any of the surrounding cities.